Hello everyone, and thanks for checking into the channel once again. Today I think we're going to try to make a small metal brake. We've never did one, watched a few videos. I think I know what I'm doing. But we're going to make it out of some angle iron here, some thick one for the bottom and a smaller one for the top, and well, you know what I mean. So anyway, hopefully this works good. Stick around. Well, after watching a few videos on different methods to build these, what I think I'm going to do, I'm going to use this big piece of angle iron for the bottom, and I have this 1.5 inch, it's approximately 1/4 inch thick angle iron that I'm going to use for the top part. And as well, I'm going to use the same piece for the bottom part here that kind of pivots. So now what we got to do is try to determine how wide we want this, because these hinges will go approximately here. I seen somebody cut a piece off of this here and they weld it to the side, and the bolt goes through here with a spring, so you can tighten up both sides, and the hinge is more to the left here, and I think that's the way I want to do it. Well, we better get cutting. Well, we've gotten all our pieces cut for our little bender. The trickiest part I was trying to figure out is how far over I got to put this hinge. I know I'm probably doing this wrong, but I'm dropping the hinge into a groove here. I have to cut a groove into the main piece here, which is about 3 inches wide, and this is the front bending piece. Got them kind of clamped together there for now, and the hinge I decided to put 2 inches in. It's going to give me approximately 17.5 inch bending area. It's just a small one to get all the bugs out before I go on to a larger floor model. But yeah, now I think it's just a matter of trying to cut these grooves out of these two pieces. This is going to be fun, this one. She's thick. I think I have to pull out the fancy cutting wheel, the really thin one. That's going to go through that like nothing. Well, let's go. Well, after a lot of grinding, cutting, a little bit of welding, we finally got it on, and it works. Yeah, we stitched that hinge on really, really good. I didn't want that to come off. Took my time because the hinge was a lot thinner than this 1/4 inch. So I had to kind of play with the settings a little bit and got her. Never blew anything out, never blew the hinges out. But yeah, turned out pretty good. This was the main part here. Once you get this stuff done, the rest is simple. Now I understand that's why they want you to put a groove here so the hinge sits flush, and your two pieces here, that's the main thing, your two pieces here got to be on the same level. If one's a little up or one's a little down, you won't get a true bend. So yeah, there we go. It's splattered on there, but I stitch welded all around, and she ain't gonna come off, I can tell you that, unless I try to bend 1/4 inch plates. But now it's a matter of getting this thing on. I'm gonna have to cut some small notches there just to clear the hinge there. I want it to sit flush as part of the game. And oh yeah, and I gotta weld these on and find myself some bolts for the top piece here so I can tighten it down. But I think that's enough for today. I'll get back at her tomorrow. I got other things to do, so yeah, I'll pick it back up tomorrow. Well, another day working on the bender. We've went ahead here and drilled our holes in our side pieces, just enough to get that bolt through, and we tacked our pieces onto the top piece of angle iron here on both sides. Now we're just getting ready to tack those bolts up. First we got to try to line this up perfectly. Hopefully there's not too much warping after I weld all this afterwards, and she goes good. But I've noticed I've already made a mistake. Like I said, this is my first time doing something like this. When you bend this piece up here, you can get it pretty well 90, but it's going to hit this stop here. You know, sometimes you got to go a little bit past. So what I might have to do is take my grinder after and cut this off right here to where it doesn't touch this. Or I could make a groove in there wide enough with the grinder, I don't know. But anyway, regardless, this piece is no good. And there's still lots of meat on here to, I'm not worried. But we better get, try to tack those bolts on and keep her lined up. Well, folks, we got the bolts all welded on, secure, and we managed to keep everything nice and straight, lined up with the bolts here when we placed the top piece on. And obviously, as you can see, we went ahead and painted it. Kind of saved you the pain of watching me just paint this stuff. That's not very interesting. But yeah, and we added a few little things here. We added some little rubbers here on the end of the handle, kind of give it a better grip. You got greasy hands, and these little homemade wing nuts.
Wasn't that special?
Now, two things we've added that I didn't show in the previous video are these little stops here in the back. They're just there, not meant to prevent pressure on these bolts. This is kind of high here, and there's a lot of pressure going that way. Sometimes the bolts can bend. I was advised by an old wise man who knows a hell of a lot more than me on this kind of stuff, and I decided to take the advice. Now, the other thing I added is that whenever I was using this, I was clamping this section here in the vise, which made the arm stick out a little bit, which obviously this was at an angle. So what I had two options: either move the vise or weld on a piece. I chose the latter. Welded on a nice big thick piece of angle iron here. All it took was a couple of inches, and there you go. She's nice and straight. Well, that's it for that project. All I gotta do now is get springs so that it pops up on its own without me having to lift it here. But this was all built out of scrap metal, and yeah, the only thing I really went out and bought is these bolts. So once again, I'd just like to thank everybody for checking in and watching the video. Hit like, share, subscribe, tell your friends if you liked it. If you didn't like it, like they used to say at the Bayview Drive-In up here, don't mention it. Until next time, peace.